Let me ask you a question. Your hard-earned money, whose is it really? Yours? Or your bank account's? You might say, of course it's mine. I can spend it however I want. Okay. Then here's a harder question. When was the last time your money actually did something for you? Not saved, not stacked up, but actually made something happen. For your life, for your family, for a dream you actually care about? If you had to think for a while before answering, then today's story is for you. Because this is the story of a merchant who was richer than anyone in his town and poorer than anyone in his town. He was never robbed. Not a single coin was ever stolen from him. And yet, he lost everything. In a small town by the sea, there lived a merchant named Marcus. He traded cloth. He traded salt. He never lost money. He never wasted money. Every child in town knew the same secret. Deep in Marcus's cellar, beneath the floorboards, sat 3 chests of gold. 3 chests, his entire life's work. But nobody had ever seen those coins, because Marcus never showed them off. He never threw a feast. He wore the same patched coat for years. He ate the simplest bread. He wouldn't light a second candle if one would do. People asked him, "Marcus, you have so much money. Why do you live like a poor man?" And Marcus always smiled and said the same thing. "I'll need it when I'm old. Did you catch it?" There was one word Marcus never said. Now. His money always belonged to someday, and someday never came. Years passed. Marcus grew richer and more afraid. One evening, he heard a story. A merchant in the next town had been robbed in the middle of the night. Thieves broke down his door. They took everything. Marcus didn't sleep that night. The next morning, he dug the gold out of his cellar and hid it under his bed. Too obvious. He buried it under the pear tree in his garden. Still not safe. He lay in bed at night, eyes wide open, listening for the sound of his own gold being pried loose. Finally, he had a brilliant idea. He hired a blacksmith, and one by one, he traded every single coin for stones of exactly the same weight. Stones. He locked them in an iron chest with 3 locks. "There," he said, patting the chest with deep satisfaction. "Now, nobody can ever steal my wealth." That night, Marcus slept the most peaceful sleep of his life. Think about what just happened. Marcus didn't become stupid. He became too clever. So clever that he confused safety with purpose. A tool that is never used is not a tool anymore. It's just a weight. Years later, Marcus decided to move to the city, to retire. He hired a wagon and held the iron chest on his lap the whole way. And on that road, 3 doors opened. Door 1, a village struck by famine. Children with hollow cheeks, standing by an empty soup pot. A grain merchant was selling rice cheaply, if only someone would pay in advance. He recognized Marcus. "Sir, aren't you the richest merchant in the region?" Marcus tightened his arms around the chest. "My money has other purposes." Door 2. At the ferry crossing, a young trader stopped him. "Sir, I'm on my way to close the deal of a lifetime. I'm short on the boat fare. I'll write you a note. I'll share the profits." Marcus tightened his arms around the chest. "My money has other purposes." Door 3. A blizzard. A traveler lay collapsed in the snow, barely breathing. The innkeeper said, "Help him." "Medicine. Firewood. You cover it. I'll pay you back." Marcus tightened his arms around the chest. "My money has other purposes." He arrived in the city, safe and sound. Before you judge him, ask yourself this: how many times Have you said those exact words? I have other plans for my money. To your family, to a friend in need, to a version of yourself that wanted to start something? At the finest inn in the city, Marcus placed the chest on the table. The innkeeper watched. Marcus opened it with ceremony. He knelt down and searched through them one by one until his fingers were white and his hands were shaking. There were no coins, no gold. He had traded the gold for stones. With his own hands, he had locked the locks with his own hands. And in that moment, Marcus finally understood everything. What he had guarded all those years was never wealth. It was fear. Fear of theft. Fear of loss. Fear of being poor and old and alone. And to buy that feeling of safety, he had traded what was real for what was not. What was alive for what was dead. But here's what hurt the most. He finally saw the true cost of his fear. The faces of the children in that village. The eyes of that young trader. The man dying in the snow. Every one of those moments was worth more than gold. And he had turned them all away with the same sentence. My money has other purposes. That night, Marcus carried the stones to the river and threw them in, one by one, listening to the water close over each one. And suddenly, he remembered something. When he was young, just starting out, his first deal earned him only a few copper coins. But back then, he bought his partner a drink. He lent money to a friend in trouble. Every copper coin he owned was alive. I became poor on that day, he told himself. Not the day I traded gold for stones. The day I locked my first coin away, Marcus never became rich again. He worked as a clerk for 20 years. Simple, steady. He never hoarded again. But he told this story to every young person who would listen. So what's the lesson? Money is water. Moving water. Waters the fields. Feeds the people. Sustains life. Locked water. Freezes. Becomes a stone. Cold. Heavy. Useless. The value of wealth was never in how much you own. It's in what you let it do. Hoarding is not wisdom. It's fear wearing a sensible coat. And fear costs more than poverty ever will. Because fear makes you push away the most precious opportunities of your life, one by one. If you want your money to come alive starting today, do 3 things. First, inventory. Find the money in your account that you're keeping for no reason you can actually name, even a little. Second, let it move. Take a small part of it and invest it in your growth, in a person who matters, in one specific act of help. The amount doesn't matter. Movement matters. Third, ask yourself one question. Every 3 months. If my money could accomplish only one more thing, what would I want it to accomplish? That answer is the wealth you actually want. Remember this, the stones in Marcus's chest never became gold again. But your money can start moving today, right now. If this story touched you, leave a like. Subscribe if you want more stories that help you see your own life differently. And tell me in the comments, when was the last time your money actually did something? Not saved. Something. I'll see you in the next story.